Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm working on trying to figure out for my next tournament, the one that I thought was canceled and now it's actually been rescheduled. I'm trying to figure out, because for this tournament I will be fishing backseat with my good friend, and we're taking his boat. So I got to figure out how to pick the right selection of those, the right amount of this, and get it into there. Sometimes it can be a challenge. I also look at it though sometimes as it may be a good thing, because now I've got to concentrate on a few selected techniques. So I can't just, this isn't working, and dig into my own tackle shop, if you will. So I got to kind of really be selective, make sure I do have what I need, yet not take everything in the boat, obviously, because it's someone else's boat. Let's see what we can do here. So my thought process going into this is I want to look at selecting the techniques and baits first that I'm going to use, because I'm pretty specific with my rods. I have a couple rods that are kind of multi-purpose, but most of the time I try and match rods, reels to the technique I'm fishing. So I think I need to definitely lock in on what I'm taking first, and then that makes the rod selection pretty easy. So this is February 5th. The tournament is been scheduled for Sunday, rescheduled for Sunday the 8th. Last weekend when they canceled it, when it was supposed to be at launch time, it was 24 degrees with a wind chill factor taking it down into the low teens. Winds, cold, wasn't safe. Florida bass hate this anyways, so it would have, I don't think there would have been any participation hardly if they did try and hold it. So fast forwarding, we've been on a bit of a warming trend this week, slightly. Each day was a little nicer than the last one until today. It's a little dreary, rainy. Another front's coming through. Today's high is only going to get up in the mid 50s. Followed by tomorrow, it'll creep up into the 60s, which would be Friday. Saturday, upper 60s, and the high for Sunday is supposed to be high 60s, low 70s, somewhere in there. Not going to be a lot of wind. They're reporting water temperatures at 55 degrees. The last 2 days that we had, or 3 days even, really, Monday, especially Tuesday and Wednesday, hopefully that crept it back up there, but this isn't going to help for these next 2 days. I'm hoping we get enough sunshine tomorrow and Saturday that maybe we can get that water temperature back up into the low 60s. Low 60s isn't horrible. Under 60 here in Florida seems to make it just another degree of difficult. That being said, one of the first things I'm looking at doing here is I got a selection of suspending jerkbaits. Then I'm going to throw a couple of. And if I find myself in a little bit too weedy of an area without getting caught up, we'll switch it around and throw some of the floating jerkbaits. I'm thinking the suspending jerkbaits, especially over some of the shell bars where I think these fish are going to be hiding, I think will make a impact, help me find slow fish. With the suspending, you can give it that real crazy erratic action, couple quick whips and jerks, and then just kill it and see if something comes up after it. The next thing that I'm going to pack in is I'm going to go with a couple good old-fashioned square bills. Got a kind of a theme here for someone that primarily fishes soft plastics. all the time, which they're coming. But the next choice is going to be a rattle trap type bait, lipless crankbait. Um, I have a nice selection of both the original rattle traps. I also like these red eye shads, but definitely have a couple of those. Um, the next thing is going to be, don't need that one yet. That's coming up. So going to be going, I primarily, with the heavy vegetation that we have here, I primarily use a 3/8 ounce, but I'm going to be switching it up to a white half ounce, the heavier um, bladed jig, chatterbait style bait. Definitely going to go with the heavier weight, um, fat, bulky trailer. The the fish I don't think are going to be super active feeding. They'll feed it when it presents themselves, but in the colder water too, their metabolism slows way down, so they're not in as big of a hurry, if you will, to feed all the time. But something erratic, something that presents itself, makes it an easy target. They're very opportunistic, so they're going to want to smack it. Um, then the next thing is I'm still going to be throwing a speed worm, nice, nice big speed worm. Um, I usually throw this on a 1/8 ounce or less. I'm going to go up to a 1/4 ounce, um, maybe even a 4/16 or 5/16. I'm not good at math. A little bit bigger, a little heavier weight. Again, the goal is arsenal list is going to be a good old fluke, weightless, no weight on it. Also, I will still use a weight on this, but it's going to be again like a 1/32, very lightweight, just enough to break it down just a little quicker sink, but your good old Cinco stick worm type bait. And then my final technique, let's see if I got any up here. I'm going to be doing a lot of heavy cover flipping and punching, especially if we can find some of the Highsmiths that are around here. They put off a lot of good heat. So you punch through a big mat of the Highsmiths with a beaver style bait or whatever kind of choice. And that's going to be my plan. I've eliminated quite a few techniques. I don't think this is the type of tournament where a Carolina rig is going to do me a lot of good on the shell bars at this point in time, because again, that seems to be more of a, dragging a little more active fish. I think they're going to relate more to the bottom, and again, they're going to relate to that just maybe a little crazy type reaction, and hopefully come up and get it. I'm hoping these. I really hit something on these jerk baits. I think they can be deadly in this colder water, especially the suspending ones. So that's going to be my game plan as far as dropping everything down. My partner and I will discuss in the next day or so, and on the way to the ramp when we actually get there. This is a body of water that, I mean, I learned how to swim on this body of water, so I have countless hours, as does he. We have countless hours on this stretch of the St. Johns River, up to Lake Monroe, back down to the, in this case, really southeast is Lake Harney. Again, countless hours upon hours of time on the water. So with the way the weather's been, there's not been a lot of opportunity for practice for either one of us. And again, with the weather changing as rapidly as it has, practice kind of fool you into something I think that's not realistic. So we're just going to kind of go by our gut instincts, fish some historical places that we know have produced in similar conditions in the past, and see if we can get that top 10 finish, maybe really hit a couple good ones, and maybe finish in the money even. But So that's going to be my plan. Now, even though I said I'm not taking a whole lot, this seems really small.